Abracadabra. Interesting. I just did some shufflemancy. Hello, good morning, everybody. I just did some shufflemancy with Spirit. I said, Spirit, please bring me a song on shuffle that would describe the energy of the Titanic. And I went to Daily Mix 6, which is rock music, and they gave me Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band. Very, very interesting. Spirit just said haunted basement. Good morning, everybody. Let me clear the field. Let me clear the field. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're finding joy in these times that we're in. I'm so happy to be here. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Come on in. I'm going to wait for some more people to come in. We're going to get a higher perspective of the Titanic today, okay? Of the Titanic. I don't know what's going to happen. Hello, Abiata. Hello there. Good morning, Candace. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I send my love. I send joy to you. I send good vibes to you. Thank you so much for coming and being with me this morning. My name is Patience. I'm your favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms. It's a podcast where we put all of our knowledge and wisdom that we get from our very own spirit team on our podcast. Oh, Titanic? My birthday? Are you saying that April 15th, the day the Titanic sank, is your birthday, or today's your birthday? That's interesting. I have some interesting things that I'm connecting that Spirit's showing me, so we'll see. But I'm just going to wait for some more people to come in. Good morning, everybody. Hi, is it okay if kids are here? I'm not a kid, but I'm a teenager. Yeah, sure. We're just talking about Titanic. If you enjoy spiritual things, April 15th, okay. Okay, your birthday is the day the Titanic sank. I gotcha. Well, get this. This is very interesting. JP Morgan, who ended up owning the White Star ship line, his birthday is April 17th, which is actually my son's birthday. And it is very close to the day the Titanic sank. So that's crazy interesting. Good morning, everybody. Hi. Thank you for being here. Good morning. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribing. We post every weekend for you. I am your favorite spirit medium, developing my spiritual gifts in real time with my very own spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle, Mish, Mirabelle, and Mantis. Everybody has a spirit team. We're very passionate about teaching you guys about energy. We're passionate about giving you all the knowledge and wisdom that we attain on our own spiritual journey of doing our spiritual work. And warn, Spirit just said warn. And Spirit said convivial, which I don't know what that means, so let me look it up. Spirit's always saying words I never heard of. Convivial? Friendly, lively, enjoyable atmosphere. Absolutely. Absolutely, Spirit. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I've never done an inanimate object before, developing my spiritual abilities with Spirit, but I will say that I'm gonna try, and it'll be like an experiment. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Boston, I'm in Rhode Island. Audrey, I'm in Rhode Island. We're neighbors. Make sure you're hitting that like button and the subscribe button so people know when we're posting, so people can find us if they're drawn to us. We truly appreciate it. Good morning, Robin. Hello. Thanks for being here. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, the energy feels so good. Thank you so much, everybody. We are so grateful for all the love and support. It's been so much fun. We're truly, truly grateful to be in this time, to have a platform to share energy with you guys. It's so, so fun. We're so excited. Hey, hey, Terry. Good morning. Hello from the Philippines, Eugene. Thanks for being here. So, my daughter, she's just turned 7 on Wednesday. She's obsessed with Titanic. Like, almost like eerily obsessed. Not in a bad way, but her draw to it is almost making me think she could have had a past life in Titanic. It feels very, I don't know what it is and why she feels so connected to it, but it definitely comes up every day. We even got her Titanic birthday decorations because it always resorts back to Titanic. She's like a Titanic tourist person. She could tell you all the facts. She could tell you about the elevators. She could tell you about the elevators inside the Titanic. It's so funny. And so I was like, well, what if we could read it? And I was kind of meditating on the energy of it. And there was a lot of things coming up because there was a lot of people. There were not a lot of survivors of Titanic. And even myself, there's some kind of pull or draw to Titanic, and I think it's metaphysical. I think because or what I'm deducing, what I'm gathering or observing, there's a lot of people who died in Titanic, and I believe it has a really strong energetic cord. And I think there's a lot of people that, need to be freed from that place where it landed. Like I think there's a lot of souls stuck in that area. And if, I don't know exactly what's going to happen or what information I can gather, but I am putting some pieces together that are very interesting. So we'll see how it unfolds. But I do ultimately, at the end of the day, want to help release any souls that may be trapped in that area that, they all died in a very scary way. And that can definitely trap energy in that particular area, in that place. And we can all be drawn to it and magnetically because we're all electromagnetic. And so you just yapping, freestyle queen. Take a submarine down there. Well, that's another thing. Because people are so drawn to it, it still claims a lot of lives. Like, remember that submarine? That guy made that submarine, where he 6'7". My daughter's always saying that 6'7". Um, Titanic energy magnetic soul transfer, absolutely, or something like it. No, I don't do magic, Terry. I don't do magic. The only magic I do is gratitude, um, meditation, you know, putting good things in my body, being joyful. Hopefully, you can free Jack's spirit. Yeah, we want to free whatever earthbound souls are there that died unexpectedly, that had unfinished business, or that felt like they were gone too soon. So, oh, thank you so much, Home Sweet Home. How do you block black magic? Well, you block it by not matching it. And black magic can ultimately be deduced to your thoughts, to your actions, to your patterns, to your behaviors, the way you treat people. If you're matching things that match black magic, then you'll be affected by it. But if you stay in your divine inheritance, you have integrity, you're honest, you're kind, you show gratitude, you're grateful, then you won't be a match to it. So it really starts in here and in here. Otherwise, you can absolutely be affected by black magic, which uses non-physical energy that can come in the forms of intrusive thought, mood swings. The intrusive thought's like the number one thing because a lot of people can't, or in our society, we're not taught about intrusive thoughts and how A lot of thoughts that you can get are actually energetic projections, psychic projections of other people, because we're all electromagnetic. So we all share an energy field that can be very fluid, and thoughts can come in and out, and feelings and emotions that aren't even ours. So thank you for asking. Causes me sleepless nights. The killer fled. Spirit said the killer fled. All right. So, like I said, my daughter's obsessed with Titanic, and I was really thinking about J.P. Morgan because he's like a major player in this, and his birthday was 2 days after the Titanic sank, and he was supposed to be on the ship, but decided to pull out at the last minute. If you want to visit any of our socials, I do have an Instagram. You can go to my link tree. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. You could go to my link tree, and it has all our socials there, and any socials you want to follow. We'd absolutely love to have you. Mistaking gut feelings and intrusive thoughts. Are you asking me what the difference is? Are you asking me how to know the difference? Black magic does work on believers in God. Well, Spirit akins it to if you were in your, excuse me, someone doesn't want me to talk. Excuse me, someone's bugging my throat. Shaka, matraka shaka. How to know the difference? Okay, so intrusive thought and intuition, or just your own thoughts. I will answer that real quick because I think it's very valuable. So in my experience, how Spirit taught me when I was little, and I had more of a connection to Spirit in a different way when I was little. I could see them, I could talk to them. My connection to them was very strong. And over time, as I realized that it wasn't safe to express this gift, I repressed it because I had a family that would tell me I was demonic. So having said that, I do have a memory that was like a training, and this is how to know. And then also, like, recently I've had intrusive thoughts. So what happens is, and it doesn't necessarily have to be black magic. Any thought that's projected at you that's negative can be considered a form of black magic. Black magic is just a bad intention being projected to you. And people can do rituals and stuff, but ultimately you don't actually need the rituals. The rituals are just a really masculine physical way to think the thought and put power into the thought. It's the thought that is the power because our thoughts are electromagnetic. And so when someone's sending you a psychic projection or negativity, it's very hard to distinguish if it's yours or not. And so Spirit taught me as a little child to ask the question. So if you get a random thought in your head that's fear-based, ask yourself, is it true? You have to take that moment. Oh, it reminds me of this card. I just got these new cards, and it reminds me of this card. I'm going to find it because it's like the best way to know if it's your thought or not. Don't be fooled. Instead, but that's not the one. That's funny. Yeah, don't be fooled, because sometimes if you don't learn to discern what's an intrusive thought and what's your own thought, you can think that it's yours, and then you can act on that fear, and it can get you stuck in places where you're not supposed to be at. Oh, here, wait, gaze, judge, reflect. Wait, gaze, judge, reflect. So in my experience, the best way to act on an intrusive thought, like say you're just chilling and all of a sudden you think you heard something, or you think you saw something that brings up fear, that brings up some kind of fear you have. So one, it's supposed to be teaching you like you still have this fear within you, so that's a good part of it. But two, like you'll be so two, I will initiate it, thank you. But two, you don't stop and wait and ask yourself, is this really true? You'll act on it immediately and you initiate a sequence of events through that fear. And so the best way to do is to wait. Even if it's scary in that moment, you have to understand that whatever your fear is, the enemies that be or people from the past or whoever knows you is going to try to use that knowledge of your fear against you. And so if you're not actually experiencing it in the moment and it's just a thought, you can absolutely 100% wait and take the time to ask yourself, is this an actual thing I should be scared of right now in this moment? And then you wait, and if it happens again, or if it's stronger, or if you're actually physically seeing it with your eyes, and yes, absolutely ask creator, ask your spirit team, say, spirit, I'm confused right now. I feel like this thought is very scary. Please remove it from my mind or separate me from it or show me evidence that it's true or not. Absolutely, you can ask your spirit team, but if you're not connected with your spirit team in that way and that's not comfortable for you, then you just ask yourself and wait a minute. You just have to wait, because if you act on it immediately on an intrusive thought and it's and negative, and it's going to have negative repercussions because your intrusive thought might not actually be happening in that moment. It's just a thought. Okay. So I hope that helps. But that's so funny because JP Morgan. So I was having this meditation on JP Morgan, and spirit said the occult in my mind, and I was like, okay, are you saying that JP Morgan was dealing with occult practices? And then so I looked it up. I just said JP Morgan and the occult. And it says that he used astrology, and he has a quote saying, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. So that's very interesting. It also says that he was a very big art collector. So I was like, oh, well, what kind of art does one collect in the 1800s? And I looked, where is it? What kind of art did JP Morgan? And it says ancient Egyptian antiquities, illuminated manuscripts, and where was and reliquaries, and then it said that he went on to Egypt to find occult, to find occult practices. So I was like, what the hell? Are you saying that JP Morgan dealt in occult practices? Which is very interesting because he's also involved with Nikola Tesla. That's what I'm saying. What if, and I don't know if this is true, but what if he consulted his astrologer, who actually has a name? What's the name of his astrologer? He was into the occult, personal interest in spiritualism, and employed an astrologer. Where's her name at? Oh, Evangeline Adams. You know what? Let me look that up. Evangeline Adams. Evangeline Adams, astrologer? (1868) she was born. Wow. She was an American astrologer based in New York. She ran a thriving astrological consulting business. Skeptics point out that Adams had no knowledge of economics and that her predictions were always fuzzy, foretelling disaster but not specific disasters, and telling that the market would go up when in fact the country was in a period of remarkable growth in the stock market. So this says foretelling disasters. What if JP Morgan listened to a prediction of his astrologer? J-Dog, I'm sorry. I'm going to get you out of here. Sorry. I'm not in the mood today. I'm not in the mood today to babysit you, okay? Get your emotions together. Get your emotions together. So then I asked some questions. I asked some questions of Spirit for my level ones. We're not really strangers. When was a time you shared your truth, even if it felt risky? Even if it felt risky. How have you been asked to change? And if you could ask your future self one question, what would it be? I'm telling you, something fishy's going on here. Okay, something fishy's going on. So there's something about JP Morgan. He was supposed to be on the boat. And the thing about this boat is that the players on the boat. Listen to this. So there was, where is it? There was John Jacob Astor the fifth. I think that's the fifth. One of the wealthiest men in the world at the time. He was a real estate magnate who died in the sinking. One of the wealthiest men in the world. We're talking about the Titanic. Can you please let me know about my dog? I can't. I'm not that kind of psychic. I'm sorry. We're talking about the Titanic. And then there was also Benjamin Guggenheim, an American mining tycoon. Okay? Isidore and Ida Strauss, the co-owners of Macy's department store. These are huge players. And listen to this. J. Bruce Ismay, their chairman and managing director of the White Star Line. The highest ranking White Star official. But he survived. He survived. But the most richest man, wealthiest man in the world didn't. So I think that's weird. I think that's very weird. JP Morgan was also responsible for our now current banking system, which, you know, I wouldn't say that we have the best banking system since, you know, our money is not even backed up by gold anymore. So it's just very interesting, all of these little components we're putting together. And we know that the elites use astrologers and psychics and stuff to predict or to know future timelines. So I'm wondering if, you know, the plan was to get these people on board on purpose. You know, I don't know. So I'm going to find out. Okay? So that's where we're at. Yes. Look, I didn't mean to pick this card up, but it says yes. Very interesting. Shady deals. Shady deals. Dark road. Moonlighting to get by. Tell us more, Spirit. Tell us more about JP Morgan. Tell us more about JP Morgan. Did JP Morgan know from his astrologer that there's going to be a disaster on the Titanic? Yes. Your eyes are fully open, seeing what's possible. Yes, he did know. He did know. Did JP Morgan plan for those players to be on board? Yes. Clearing the air. Refreshing change. Was there a specific reason why he wanted them on there? Was there a specific reason?
Both of them.
Both of them. Spirit just said both of them. I'm really gravitating towards Benjamin Guggenheim and John Jacob Astor. Alrighty. Tell me more. Let's do a mind trap. I was wondering why you were talking about JP Morgan, and I get it. You're trying to attract clients interested in using your service. Well, I don't, Terry, I don't have services. I'm not, I don't get paid for anything. This is not, I don't get paid for anything. So I'm talking about JP Morgan because he owned the White Star Line, which made Titanic. And he was and he was also associated with Nikola Tesla, and he was a major, and he's an occultist. So that's why we're talking about JP Morgan. I don't get paid. I don't do readings. I don't get paid to do this. I do this for spiritual development with my spirit team, to learn energy and to get higher perspectives of linear views, to see things that we are not told, to learn things, the missing pieces and puzzle pieces of things that we're not told about. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Do you enjoy lying? I don't enjoy lying. I don't lie. I'd rather look stupid for a mistake I made than lying. Seems like lying with cards. Well, I don't pick the cards. They're random. So, they're random. I'm not trying to lie. I definitely can't prove anything I get is real. JP Morgan, just a name, or he's a real person. He's a real person. He was born on my son's birthday, April 17th. He's a real person. You want to know a little bit more about him? Let me see. Let's see. John Pierre Pont Morgan Sr., April 17th, 1837, was an American financier and investment banker who dominated corporate finance on Wall Street throughout the Gilded Age and Progressive Era. As the head of the banking firm that ultimately became known as J.P. Morgan Chase, he was a driving force behind the wave of industrial consolidations. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be judgmental, but he is so ugly. Like, honestly, when I look at him, he just looks like the ugliest man on earth. And I'm talking about energetically. You are not lying. Don't listen to the haters. Oh, don't worry. I'm not listening to them. The world is ran by dirtbags. Well, I think there may be something. Well, let's continue. Thank you, Robin. Don't worry about it. You're very intelligent. I can feel your energy as soon as I tuned into you. Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you for sharing your energy with me. Definitely Jewish. So you're trying to uncover untold conspiracy theories with tarot cards? Well, we don't use tarot cards. We use game cards. Like, we're going to use Mind Trap right now. Spirit has me use game cards, vocabulary words, trivia, just to show you guys that energy, you can read energy with anything. You don't have to have a tarot card. You could read clouds, you could read axe markings, you could read tea leaves, you could read music. Like, it's never one thing. Who could it be now? That just popped up in my head. Who could it be now? I also did a shufflemancy for a song that I asked Spirit to give me a song that would be relevant to this situation, and they gave me Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band. So there's definitely something going on here, something fishy. Sid Shady and Sam Slug were in a plane flying off the coast of South America. At 300 meters altitude, Sid and Sam were in this situation as a result of a bet. Oh, shit. Sam claimed that if he dropped a 5-kilogram steel ball from the plane, 6 seconds after Sid dropped a 5-kilogram sack of feathers, the steel ball would hit the ground first. Which of the two will actually hit the ground first? Do not tell me this was some sick, wealthy man bet. Do not even tell me that. Neither, since they are flying off the coast of South America, both objects will hit the ocean. Don't even tell me that this was some sick bet between wealthy people. What is that about? Oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you, Robin. Don't worry about it. Whatever they're saying, let them say it. They're just trying to get energy from me. So they have to learn that they can't get energy where energy is not given. And they'll move on. Hmm. They were in this situation as a result of a bet. Hmm. And it's funny because these gentlemen are in a plane, but it's over the ocean. So neither of them, are you saying neither of them would have won? Interesting. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more. My mother was gifted. She taught me some things, but not all the secrets. I understand that, but I also understand lingering essence. Yeah, well, I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to worry about it. I don't want you to get upset or let it affect you, but I do appreciate how much you care. It's so sweet of you, Robin. I do love that about you. She's very protective of me, and I appreciate that. I think you're fabulous. Oh, thank you so much, Audrey. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So there's something about it being some kind of sick. You know, are rich people bored? It's like when you're rich, do you all of a sudden become bored? Like, I don't understand. Like, just because you have money and power, all of a sudden you get to like play with people's lives? Is that what we're saying right now? I don't know. I really hope not. Governor Gamble, who was looking for a very smart man to be his advisor, was down to the final three applicants. Spiritual advisor, he told the three men that he had 5 hats, 3 white and 2 green. He explained that he was going to put 1 hat on each of their heads. The first man to correctly state the color of his own hat and explain how he arrived at that conclusion, psychic, wow, would land the job. After the hats had been placed, the first man looked at the other two and said that he did not know the answer. The second man looked at the first and the third and said that he didn't know the answer either. The third man, who was blind, correctly stated the color of his hat and then went on to explain his reasoning. What color was the blind man's hat and how did he know? He reasoned. The first man obviously didn't see 2 green hats, or else he would have immediately known his hat was white. And white star. Had the second man looked and he saw a green hat, he would have been certain that his hat was white, since the first man didn't see the 2 green hats. Because he didn't know for certain the color of his hat, I can consequently deduce that my hat on my head is white. So JP Morgan may have been hiring spiritual advisors. He may have had many applicants and he needed them to prove which one would be the best one for the lies I told. JP Morgan said the lies I told. Oh my God. He needed them to show their abilities, basically, so he could choose the right one for what he needed them for. He wanted to choose the best one that would have been the most accurate all the time. That's what he's saying. Energy is only matter. It is not inspired with spirit. The inspiration is love, and love is the truth. Until you acknowledge what is true, your words are only knowledge. Anyway, you say and you do what you are doing only because you reject God. Good luck with that. Spirit just said you're an evil spirit, so I'm gonna get you out of here. Hope your allergies clear up. I'm actually sick right now. That's what always happened. Big government disturbing our lives. She's a woman, guys. Her forehead and her jaws too small. I don't know why people are so obsessed with Terry, what makes you think anyone rejects God? Well, I just hit his messages because Spirit said he's an evil spirit, so, or she is, he or she, I don't know. So, Spirit told me to block them. So there's something about him. There's something about JV. This says Governor Gamble, so I'm taking that as symbolic for somebody of authority. Okay, somebody who is looking for an oracle. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit just said the oracle. He was looking for an oracle, and he may have had. That was what the gamble was. The Titanic may have been some kind associated to some kind of low vibrational spiritual practice due to a competition of sorts. Perhaps he wanted to see which one would arrive at the conclusion that he needed to pick them. But he needed them to be blind as to what he really wanted. Because Spirit said that the lies I told. So he definitely picked one, and it was this woman. Where is she? Evangeline Adams. She correctly predicted the stock market crash, and she could have possibly predicted this Titanic crash. And we know by doing the celebrity reads that the elites and celebrities and people with high influence or authority use occult knowledge or astrology to predict timelines, to like change people's paths and stuff like that, which we highly recommend you don't do. We highly recommend you don't do that. You're not God, okay? Thank you, Michael. You're a gift from God. Blessed be collective. Archangel Michael, Kali Mama, blessed collective intelligence. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for positive. Thank you so much for positive energy. Okay, that's very interesting. Tell me more about this. So there's something about the Titanic maybe linked to this applicant sorting, she could have predicted this, or I'm not sure. How can I find that out? How can I find more out about this? Spirit, tell me about finding these advisors. There's some kind of I want to say competition. Like for example, okay, I need to know what your abilities are. I need to know what your skill set is. I need to know how good you are. I need you all to tell me a prediction or to do something that will show me that you're the one I should pick as my spiritual psychic oracle advisor. Okay? That's wild. It is written that J.P. Morgan absolutely did consult an astrologer and was into the occult. And he also was one of the number one reasons Nikola Tesla had all his experiments and his free energy blocked. So that's interesting. J.P. Morgan also did, it says he had a big connection with, what did it say? Episcopalianism. Episcopalianism. He helped fund the construction of the Cathedral of St. John the Divine in Manhattan, and he served as a church warden and revised the Episcopal Book of Common Prayer. So that's very interesting as well. All right. Tell me more. Tell me about this. How is this linked to the Titanic? What does the Titanic have to do with the spiritual advisor? Joins the first manned mission to Mars. An avid comic book collector. I told you he was a huge art collector, and he collected Egyptian manuscripts, enlightened, what is it? What did it say? Enlightened manuscripts and early Christian objects, Egyptian antiquities. So he was definitely looking for something. Are you saying that something? No, I don't know about that. I just got this thought in my head, something about an artifact on Titanic. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. Join the first manned mission to Mars. So something that is sci-fi, something that's out of this world, something that's unusual, something that's strange, something he saw in a book. Upon breaking a lifelong promise. Upon breaking a lifelong promise, joins the first manned mission to Mars. He may have been collecting spiritualists or oracles so he could be the most powerful man in the world. But he's a rookie. He doesn't understand energy. Disowned by angry uncle. Whoever these spiritualists were, or maybe this spiritualist was a rookie, they did something out of a book. They did something out of a book, but they were a rookie. They were just trying to, they were in a competition. They were trying to plan the first mission to Mars, but they're a rookie. They wanted to get picked for the job. After escaping prison. A sassy nun. I cannot make it up. A sassy nun and a reformed hitman. Go on a game show. I cannot make it up. Go on a game show. It was some kind of enraged by a conflict with a former friend. Uncovers a hidden family secret. Under a witch's spell. I cannot make it up, you guys. I can't make it up. I would never, ever make it up. I would never, ever make it up. You guys, this is wild. The reason Titanic may be holding energy of earthbound spirits is because, first of all, it was under some kind of curse or spell that could have been planned or what's the word? It could have been part of a game show, of some kind of competition for JP Morgan to find the oracle the most powerful oracle. But one of them was lying. It was between three. That claimed to be spiritualists or oracles. And clearly, I mean, he could have had more than one, but the one that's documented is Evangeline Adams. That's the thing about astrology, you guys. Astrology it's a portal, okay? It's a portal. It is not meant for you to predict timelines and to change future events and to interfere with people's lives, okay? And so when you use, it's called astrology abuse, and there's divination abuse, and there's all kinds of, you can abuse anything, but you can also use it in a healthy way. But if you don't understand energy and your goal is to use it for your own selfish needs, that's abuse, okay? That's abuse. I'm not reading tarot, buddy. I'm not reading tarot. And this ship had a lot of powerful people on it. And if you're JP Morgan, who honestly has when I look at JP Morgan's picture, he smells. He literally smells like eggs. I can smell eggs as I look at his picture. There's something very off-putting about him. And it could be because he was very
A bad omen.
a bad omen. Because he's somebody who he abuses
Choice.
divination. He abuses divination. He he has the money and the power to find the most powerful oracle and put them in some kind of competition, and the Titanic was part of that competition. One of these people who are in this competition could have had a book or something, or had some kind of knowledge about how they could do something powerful, okay, under a witch's spell. And it has to do with the Titanic. Well, how do you show somebody a big sign that I'm the one you should hire? You could predict that a ship would sink by making it sink through magic. Oh, you were right. It sank. You told me not to go on it. Yeah, because I planned to sink it. I don't meets the ghost of Ernest Hemingway. I don't think that JP Morgan wanted the ship to sink, or that's not what I'm getting. But I think in his search for the best oracle, he came across people who were willing to do anything to show JP Morgan to be picked. They were pick me's. Yeah. Tell me more. Under a witch's spell. I can't make it up. Disowned by an angry uncle. There's also something about and it says a reformed hitman. There's also something about JP Morgan being angry at somebody, possibly someone on the ship. Let's find out. How can we find out? How can we find that out? Let me see. Let me see. The Spirit, tell me about JP Morgan and this oracle. Expressions, giggle, grin, chuckle. He smells like eggs, funny and descriptive, and I agree. Dental practice in the 19th century were packing and body hygiene. I think it's his spirit. When I encounter somebody who has a stained spirit, they always smell like eggs or like a really weird body odor. So I think it's more energetic. But the hygiene back then was absolutely horrid as well. The word Titanic means of exceptional power and strength. And the white star is actually an occult term for divine energy. So that's the thing about this particular situation. When you dabble in occult practices, there's a lot of people that will also be religious that do this. And that will use their religious beliefs. They will use their religious beliefs to justify using occult practices. Okay? And I'm not saying you can't use occult practices, but if you're using them, if you're abusing divination to control the outcome to go in your favor, that's divination abuse. Then you're not actually co-creating, you're trying to control. And so that's the issue here. By doing this competition, this game show between occultists or oracles, or trying to find the oracle of that's the most powerful, this was some kind of test. Joins the first manned mission to Mars. This was some kind of test that broke a lifelong promise, because when you have spiritual abilities, when you're an oracle, it is a lifelong promise for you to not abuse them, for you to use them for good, for you to not use them to hurt people, or to view the future, or to try to control, the way things are. Okay, so there's definitely something weird going on, and I think that's why the Titanic is so energetically charged, and why we're so drawn to it, because it has so much stagnant energy and so much unresolved energy. Okay, I've seen that before. You can't mix God and Pokemon cards. You can only serve one master. What does that mean? The greed of money make people say and do whatever for it. Line must be. Yeah, exactly. When you're given spiritual gifts, or you're like, I've had my spiritual gifts since I was a child, but never in a million years would I ever read people's energy without their permission. I would never use it to view the future and to, change timelines or hurt people. I would never do that. But when this person, JP Morgan, is purposely looking for oracles to do that for his business, selfishly for his business, because he wants to be the most powerful whatever in the world, and he's like outwardly searching for people, and he's the most powerful man in the world. It's like, yeah, these people are going to want to be picked, and they're going to want to show him. And that's the misconception. God doesn't need to show you his abilities for you to believe in God. Okay, God is everywhere. God has given you everything you need, and that is enough. And so if you meet somebody who's like, prove to me that you're the most psychic person in the world, that's not how it goes. I don't have to show you anything. I'm I'm a creation of God, and that is the miracle. We are walking miracles. And so when you're looking outside of yourself, looking for more power, more, that's something that's an internal thing. That's something you need to fix within yourself. And so JP Morgan is trying to be the most powerful man in the world, and he may have been the reason, like the common denominator of why the Titanic went down the way it did. Okay? And it could have something to do with low vibrational spiritual practices. Tell me more. I think that they were laughing about this at first. I think this is something they may have thought that was funny. You know, it could have been a group of this group of people who are in a competition. Yeah, I can't make it up. It was like a experiment, like an energy experiment. But I don't think they viewed it that way. I think it was just like, may the best man win kind of thing. They were definitely in this, look, there's a rose under a microscope. Yeah, you don't look at a rose under a microscope and criticize God's creation. You don't do that. Okay? And so when you're looking for spiritual practices to control an outcome, that's what you're doing. You're spitting in God's face, and you're saying, I'm more powerful than God. That's what you're saying. And that's not true. You're like the guy on Instagram that talks about John Pork and Tim Cheese. I don't know who that is. There are 3 bears: James Cook, James Ross, and James Morgan. And it's very interesting that one of the richest people in the world were on this ship. What does that have? Tell me about the people on board. Why did JP Morgan care about the people on board? Interesting. Look at what this kid's wearing. He's wearing a top hat. He looks just like JP Morgan. So some kind of contract, some kind of commitment, and this kid has got a red brick and a shoe. There's some dirty dirty contracts being made here. There's some dirty contracts being made here. I don't think this necessarily had to do with a woman, but marriage is a contract. So there could have been some dirty dealings. Tell me more about this.
Coffee table.
Ooh. Wanting to be on top, wanting to stay on top. And look at, there's a ship right here. There's a ship right here. That's very interesting. Controlling a ship. There's also a submarine and a speedboat. This butler has a toothbrush and a towel. Okay. Tell me about this contract. Where's my... Tell me about this contract. What about it? The ideas of the affections of the human body involve the nature both of external bodies and of the human body itself, and must involve the nature not only of the human body but also of its parts. For affections are modes in which parts of the human body are, consequently the body as a whole is affected.
Umbrella.
Umbrella. Umbrella. An adequate knowledge of external bodies is as also of the component parts of the human body is not in God insofar as he is considered as affected by the human mind, but insofar as he is considered as affected by other ideas. Therefore, these ideas of affections, insofar as they are related only to the human mind, are likely conclusions without premises. That is, as is self-evident, confused ideas. Clap. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit says clap. Oh my gosh. Oh, I get it. This is why you shouldn't use a divination this way. This is why, because whoever he chose to be his spiritual advisor, his oracle, she gave him wrong advice. She said that someone was against him that was on the ship, that someone wanted to break a contract, that we... This is why you don't do it, because there's multiple different timelines. I was just talking about this with my friend at work. He asked me about going to fortune tellers, and I said, don't do it, because you don't know if the fortune teller, if they're a good person or not, if they're responsible with their gifts. Upon breaking a lifelong promise, this oracle broke her promise that she made before she incarnated to have these gifts, and she used them for her own selfish personal gain. And when she was acquired by JP Morgan, he would take her predictions or whatever as Bible, even if they were incorrect. So she could have said that one of the other businessmen on the ship was trying to go against whatever he was trying to do, whatever contracts that they were making together. And so he may have taken action based upon that false prediction, that false reading of energy, That is divination abuse. That's why you don't go to fortune tellers. That's why you don't get your future read. That's why you shouldn't do that, because there's multiverse. There's an infinite amount of possibilities that could be possible, and when you focus on one and you pick one, you don't know if you're even an energetic match to it. You don't know if you're even on that timeline. Okay? Absolutely. So, whatever idea was planted in JP Morgan's head based upon what the oracle told him about someone of influence on the ship, it was self evident that it was a confused idea, that it wasn't even accurate. Okay? It wasn't even proof. He didn't have any proof. All he had was what the oracle said. That's wild. What else? That's wild. Let no one delay the study of philosophy while young, nor weary of it when old. No one is either too young or too old for the health of the soul. He who says either that the time for philosophy has not yet come or that it has passed is like someone who says that the time for happiness has not yet come or that it has passed. Therefore, both young and old must philosophize, the latter so that although old, he may stay young in good things owing to gratitude for what has occurred. The former so that although young, he too may be like an old man owing to his lack of fear of what is to come. Therefore, one must practice the things which produce happiness, since if that is present, we have everything, and if it is absent, we do everything in order to have it. I cannot make it up, you guys. I can't make it up. Hold on, I gotta put this puzzle piece in for TikTok. I can't make it up. JP Morgan was a chaser. He was a chaser. One. He was a chaser of influence. He was a chaser of money. He was not attracting money. He was controlling outcomes because he used divination abuse. Just like all of the elites, just like all those people. You cannot, I don't know how to say it any more clearly, but when you search for happiness and you think that having the upper hand in that way will give you happiness, you're not, that doesn't make you happy. Okay? And so his need to be the best and whatever, to be the number one, to be the wealthiest man in the world, to do this, to do that, and to control it by hiring somebody who claimed to be an oracle or a psychic of some kind. They were a false person, and they didn't use their gifts for good. They I don't know if she lied or if she just told him the wrong timeline. I don't think it matters, because you just shouldn't do that in general. Okay? You just shouldn't. I mean, it does say she was a rookie. Okay, under a witch's spell. Yeah. And so he's over here, thinking that he's getting away with something because his psychic advisor told him about someone on the boat who's going to go against him. So he used this as an opportunity to curse the boat, to put a curse on the boat. JP Morgan is someone who scrutinizes roses. He says it's not good enough. I need it to be redder. I need God's creation to be redder. He's a chaser. It was never enough for him. Tell me more. So under these false ideas that had no proof or validity to it, he said, well, they gotta go. How can we make them go? And what did the oracle say? Touching the boundless limits of the universe. Yeah, she said justice is coming. Yeah, dark wisdom, ancient rituals. She's like, I can make the ship. Heard your smells. Dr. Egghead in the third. That's funny. Um, yeah, she said, "Don't worry, I can take care of the ship. Watch what I can do. Prayers denied, divine wrath, unforgiven sin." I cannot make it up. Because this false oracle who has some kind of book, who's a rookie, who broke her promise to God to not use her powers in this way, did some kind of spell or curse on the ship because JP Morgan said, "Do it, let it be done." Because I don't want this person to come against me. But no one was coming against him. No one was coming against him. Ridiculous. Light and dark, secrets, waves of change, silent shadows. And look,
Yes.
it's the ocean. I can't make it up. I can't make it up, you guys. JP Morgan cursed the ship. The spirit just said yes because he got a false prediction from a false oracle using divination abuse who claimed to be divine but wasn't divine at all. And so he trapped a bunch of souls. Oh, coming to light. Thank you. He trapped a bunch of souls on that ship who died for no reason because of his pig-headed egoness. Asshole. That's wild. Well, I want to free these souls now. It's not fair that they've had to be there this whole time, stuck in a cycle, in a loop, in a never-ending loop, going on the ship, sinking the ship, going on the ship, sinking the ship, always in fear and confinement. Let's free them. How can we free them? Holy Divine Spirit, please help me free the souls of the Titanic. If I can. I mean, I don't know if I can, but that's my intention. We just uncovered a hidden secret. Uncovers a hidden secret. A hidden secret. Unmarked grave, Spirit just said. Yeah. And their unmarked grave at the bottom of the ocean. How can we heal it? How can we free them? Past life journey. Embark on the journey to your past lives and uncover the contracts and missions of your soul. Soul memory. That's what I said in the beginning. Didn't I say I think my daughter has a past life connection to the Titanic because she is obsessed with it. There's no reason she was been obsessed since she was 5. There's no reason a 5-year-old should even care about the Titanic. And that's what we need to pay attention to. When you're drawn to something like that and you can't explain it, there's some kind of past life connection that needs to be healed or needs to be overcome or needs to be learned, some kind of lesson learned. Spirit circle. Your soul is connected to a circle of spirits. Together you share a mission that unites hearts across time and space. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Soul circle, energetic connection, shared purpose. You guys, I think that all of us, if we all have an intention right now to allow the spirits that are stuck in that place due to a curse, if we allow them to, I don't know how to do it. I've never done it before. Spirit said, yes, you can. Spirit said, yes, you can. I think if all of us have an intention that we want this to be over, we want them to be free, so shall it be. I don't believe in spirits. Well, that's okay. I obsessed over the man. I was not a magic warrior. Let me see. Maybe I could speak it. Holy Divine Spirit, is my intention to create a light, a portal for all of the earthbound souls that were unfortunately met their demise in this cursed crash of the Titanic, so they can be free of that place and end the cycles of their spirit so they can go back home. I'm imagining a portal opening of light in the Atlantic Ocean, and I'm inviting the spirits. I can see them walking through. I invite them to walk through with Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Come on through, everybody. You're free now. You don't have to stay here anymore. Oh, I just saw them all walk through. Oh, oh my God, a soul anchor. Look, an anchor. Oh, I'm crying. I'm crying. Stability, balance, grounded foundations. Anchor your soul in stability. It will provide the strength and support you need. Ooh. And you know what? And we forgive JP Morgan and this false oracle for dabbling in low vibrational spiritual practices and for being so selfish. We forgive them. And we release them from that as well. Divine contract. Your life story is woven from a divine contract. Each step you take fulfills a higher purpose. Sacred agreements, life choices, spiritual growth. Thank you so much, Spirit. Oh, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. Oh. Whew. That was a powerful one, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful. I didn't know where this was going. I didn't know how to do it, but I'm so grateful that all of you were here. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. Tomorrow, we're going to be here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We're here every morning at 6 a.m. Oh, thank you, Ray. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Good to see you. I hope all is well. I send you positive energy. Tomorrow we're gonna do a heavy one. We're gonna do JJ and oh no, Kaylee. JJ and Kaylee Vallow. If you guys know the case of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, the Doomsday Cult Killers or whatever they were called. If Lori and Chad don't want to tell the truth, then we'll just ask JJ and Kaylee. It's not a big deal. We'll just ask them and we'll figure it out. If they don't want to release their burdens and they don't want to be truthful, then we're just going to unveil the truth. And so we're going to talk to them tomorrow and see from their perspective how it all played out, what happened, and hopefully we'll get to do some healing, okay? So I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful for you. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribe button. Thank you for the super chat. And if you want to follow any of our socials, they're through the link tree, through the bio. We'd absolutely love to have you. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.